Thank you, Minister. Ms. Zahid, 5 minutes.
Thank you, Chair. And I would like to thank the Minister and the officials for joining us today. And I want to specifically thank you, Minister, for all the work which you have put in for Bill C6. Really.
Well, it's I who thank you. Yeah. Well, we can thank each other, I guess.
Okay,
but I know the committee has spent an awful lot of time on this.
Thank you. Further to Mr. Chan's question, and I'm going to focus my questions around the backlog processing time, as this is one of the most frequent complaints I hear from my constituents in the riding of Scarborough Centre, and I am sure I'm not alone. The status quo is simply not acceptable. Applicants are waiting too long for their applications to be processed, living in limbo and often separated from their loved ones, and that's really very a thing of concern to all of us. Minister, you have told this committee previously that lowering processing times, particularly in the family class, is a top priority for you. Your department is asking for a 13.5% increase in funding in these estimates for 2016-17. How much of that specifically will be directed towards decreasing the processing times?
Well, certainly, my officials can seek out the exact number, but certainly it was part of our platform and part of the budget to put more money in to deal precisely with that issue. That has been done, and so we may as well get more money in future budgets. That remains to be seen. And also we're working very hard to improve the efficiency with which we process people. So for the same amount of money, we can process more people if we do it more efficiently. And we have learned from the great efficiencies we learned with refugees, and we can transfer some of that learning over to other streams of immigrants. But in terms of your basic question, yes, you are right. Refugees are very important. Refugees have been very much in the news. But I would say the most important single commitment that we made in the election platform was to bring down the processing times for family class. Because over the last 10 years, those processing times have ballooned through the roof to an unacceptable level. And in particular, for 2 years, if the heavy hand of the Canadian state keeps spouses apart for 2 years on average, I think that is unacceptable. Now, we will have measures to deal with that in a serious way soon. I cannot announce it today, but in a number of weeks we will be moving on that. The other things that are also important would be parents and grandparents and caregivers, PR cards, and others. I put particular attention on the spouses as part of the nuclear family as being the really high priority, partly because for parents and grandparents, as a consequence of the diminished intake over a number of years and the large numbers of parents and grandparents allowed to come in for a number of years, that processing time will come down automatically, significantly, over the next few years. So in part that will solve itself, in part, but the spouses need direct action from us to solve it, and so that's going to be our first priority, and we will come forward in coming weeks, as they say, for action in this area.
Thank you.